Good afternoon. I am A. Allen, and you are with Streetwise Live for the next 25 minutes on CAN TV 21. We are streaming live, cantv.org/hotline. You can also join the conversation by calling 312-738-1600. About Streetwise, don't forget our new orientation for new vendors is Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. I'm going to put it on the overhead so you can get a visual of it. Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock. Let me see if I can zoom back. Yeah, Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock from 10 a.m. to about 12. It's got 2 on here, but it's actually from 10 a.m. to about 12. Yeah, all are welcome. You don't need no identification. Come and get orientated, and with the orientation we'll get your wheels rolling with 15 free papers to get you out the chute and get you started. Okay, we'll give you a good location. We'll give you an identification badge. And we also have a job program. For more information, you can call Streetwise at 773-334-6600. And you can actually speak to Allie Maloney, or else you can email us. Our website is, you can look at it on your screen. We also have a hand up and not a handout. This is what we believe in. We believe in being self-supporting through our own contributions. Okay, now today we have Broderick, and I'm going to let Broderick introduce himself. Thank you, Broderick, for coming on the show on Streetwise behalf. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and what brought you to Streetwise, Broderick? Please.
Sure, no problem. My name is Broderick Turner. I am currently a PhD student at the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University in the marketing department. And I do research on vulnerable populations as well as research on empathy and persuasion. And I've spent the last 5 years as a doctoral student learning about how to market things, how to sell things, how to understand the psychological processes that lead people to making decisions. And I realized that I could put those skills to use to either sell more sugar water or I could use it to help some people that were doing great things. And so I started looking around the city for opportunities with organizations that were helping people in their community. And I came across Streetwise because I bought a copy from a vendor near my neighborhood, read through it, realized that there was an orientation, and I thought it was a volunteer orientation. Turns out I actually did a Streetwise vendor orientation, and you did the orientation for me.
I remember that.
You walked me through it. It was amazing. Alan is a really, really good trainer. Right? Yes. He taught me, the basics of Streetwise, the basic thing to say, the pitch. He told me what not to do. Don't bother anybody. Right? Look people in the eyes. If no means no. It was a phenomenal training. Then they gave me the magazines and a spot to go sell them, and a badge, and said, "Go sell the Streetwise. Let's know how it goes." Now, I really thought I was going to volunteer that day, and that was not what happened. I was too far in to say, stop. So I said, let's do it. Let's go for it. So I went to my corner with my Streetwise magazines. It took a long time to sell all the Streetwise magazines. I think I was out there for like 4 or 5 hours, and it was hot, and I was sweaty. But I sold them.
You sold them.
I did sell them.
Determination, dedication. That's what we be looking for. And you had that, and you sold them all. And that was a good report to come back to tell us. Because we really didn't know that you was there for research development. We didn't know anything about that. We just thought you was just a regular Joe coming in, that wanted to make some extra money. And
I appreciated that, right? Because you treated me as well as you treat everybody else that comes into Streetwise. And it was great. And it really, so I used to work in sales as a sales trainer. I taught people how to sell things. And selling Streetwise was hard. It was really hard.
It was a challenge.
It was a challenge.
Okay.
Standing out on the street, like corner,
right.
and it's hot, and I'm saying Streetwise to people, would you like one? Most people don't even look at you. They walk right past you. Right. They don't, see you even as a human being because you have the Streetwise magazine in your hand. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Maybe there's something that we can do here. Maybe there's something that we can understand about, like, what people are thinking when they see a Streetwise vendor, right? Or how can we reorient and rebrand, or like what can we learn that can actually help you guys make more sales? Oh,
yes, that's exactly what we was looking for.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming and then being a part of Streetwise. And then, we had a lot of people to experiment with Streetwise. We had the staff, we had the board members, we had a lot of people to go out. We had students to come in and visit, and they go out and try to sell. A lot of them give up and say, man, it's too hard. It's just too hard. I can't do it. I can't do it, but you muscled your way through, and you were successful at doing it. So that lets me know to tell the vendors during the orientation that you can do it if you put your mind to it. If you keep your eyes on the prize, you can do it. All things are possible to them that believe, as far as I'm concerned. And so you went out there and did it. You was new at this, but you had a little experience in sales, but you had that die-hard spirit to say, I'm not giving up. And that's what I can appreciate. You bring so much to Streetwise, and then when we have our all vendors meeting, you show up for the all vendors meeting. And for some reason, the vendors know that you know something about sales, and they have a lot of questions for you because you bring a lot to the table, and vendors feel free to ask you questions, and so, which is a good thing. They ask you questions and you well able to answer because you have been there, right? You have been out there, and you know what it's like to be out there to be selling the paper. So you have experienced it with it, and you can tell vendors something about it.
Yeah. So like something, I'll give you an example of something that I found just by working with you guys, seeing some of the data. There's some really interesting stuff, right? So Streetwise has an issue, right? And one of the issues is that people have stopped carrying cash.
Yes.
Right? Just as a whole, like people in society just do not carry dollar bills. Even though Streetwise has moved over into a new model where you can take Venmo payments now,
yes, we can take
which is great. But still, that's still a new way to pay, and there's still some comfort that needs to be developed so that people feel comfortable taking Venmo payments and paying people, right? But because people carry cash, the purchase of a Streetwise newspaper is not necessarily a in-the-moment decision. Right? I had an assumption going in that this was, people would see a Streetwise vendor and then make a snap decision that they were then going to purchase from that Streetwise vendor. But what we have found is that just looking through your own data and running some surveys is that what people are actually doing is they're planning to purchase a Streetwise magazine. Right? So they're making a concerted effort to say that I'm going to buy a Streetwise magazine from my vendor. Right? So there's a feeling of like, this is not just a person on the street, but this is Alan. I know Alan, he's my vendor. Right? Exactly. Or Sarah. I know Sarah, she's my vendor. Exactly. Right? And so for Streetwise vendors, if they're any watching the show, what we have found is that like one of the #1 predictors of sales is actually consistency, right? Yes. Because it allows the customer to actually plan and then go through with their decision, right? Okay. So you have a place where you stand and you sell your Streetwise, right? And do you have a schedule that you follow? Yes, I do. And what's your schedule? My consistent schedule is to be at my location, which is Chicago and Franklin, from 8:30 to 9:30 every day, except for Thursday. I go back and do orientation, so I leave at 9 o'clock. Okay, so if I'm coming to Chicago and Franklin, right? I know Alan's going to be there 8:30 and 9:30 every day, and except Thursdays, right? And you're consistent. You are like a clock, right? You show up on time, right? You are the trains in Germany, like you run on time, correct? Exactly. So if I know that Alan's going to be there, right? I know that I buy a Streetwise magazine. I can like plan the day before or the morning of to get cash out the bank or cash out the ATM, so that I can hand you cash, you hand me a Streetwise, and I get some good information. Right. Now, if you are not there for a day or 2 days or a week, right? Let's say you're gone for a week, then I don't have the cue, right, to remember to do the thing to allow me to buy the Streetwise from you, right? So I then have to like rehabituate myself to go to the ATM, take out cash, get cash, and then I go and you're not there, the cash is going to get spent. Right? And then the next week, I've forgotten that I need to get the cash, and so I come back, maybe you're there, maybe you're not. If you are there, it's like, well, I can't get you this week, I don't have any cash on me, all right? And then it takes, on average, about 4 weeks for people to even get back to a similar level where they were after they've missed basically a week of Streetwise sales, right? Again, because it's not a instantaneous decision, right? It seems to be mostly for a planned decision that people have a consistent base of customers. Like, you know your customers, right?
Right. And I know that you know what you're talking about, because for the simple fact my customers know I'm going to be there. And most of the time when they come, they actually have money in their hand.
Right.
They have the money already in their hands.
Right.
So, you know, if I miss a day, now you make a good point, because if I miss a day and a panhandler decides to show up, okay, that money that they have in hand, they're not going to put it back in their pocket. I know that. I know that. So the panhandler, he feel like, man, I really got lucky, because I was just standing there. People had the money in their hand. They started just giving it to me. But that was the money that was supposed to be going to me, right? But because I missed a day, and that's the reason why I don't miss days. And that's the reason why I emphasize to other vendors, don't miss days, because it could very well happen that way, the way you said it. And it does happen that way, you know?
Well, this is also why a lot of your vendors, right, end up getting employment and keeping employment, right? Because the only way for you to be successful as a Streetwise vendor is to be consistent, right? Is to be on time, is to show up at the place where you're supposed to show up and do the thing that you're supposed to do and do it right, right? And as an employer, right, people see that and go, yeah, they'll show up on time. And that's a big deal, right?
It is.
You've had a lot of people that have gone from Streetwise to working at CVS, or Streetwise to, you know, moving companies, Streetwise to doing things because people know that they can be trusted, right, to be consistent, to be there on time, and to do what they say they are going to do, right? Because, I mean, what's the message you tell us, right? It's not a hand out, right?
A hand up.
It's a hand up, right? And that's like a beautiful message, and something I think is, you know, more people need to see and understand, right? Because let me tell you something we're really bad at, just the people, right? Okay. We dehumanize poor people, right? We dehumanize homeless people, right? We see them as less warm, we see them as less competent, we see them as less than people. And because of this, we make a lot of unnecessary assumptions about why they're doing something or what their life is like, right? And it does not allow for most people to like understand like what a day-to-day life is like for someone that, you know, has been homeless or is homeless adjacent, or is, you know, one day away from being homeless. Because a lot of people have pretty comfortable lives, right? But you take that away, and like the decisions that people looking from the outside looking in, like we're judging those decisions instead of trying to understand your lived experience, right? Right. So I'll give you one more example. I don't want to take all your time.
No, you're doing good.
I'm sorry I'm talking
too much. Take your time.
I think my second or third day coming to Streetwise and running some stuff and talking to you guys, I brought in two boxes of donuts, right?
You did.
And
I remember that.
And a bag of apples.
I remember that.
And some coffee. And nobody ate any of the apples, all right? But all the donuts got eaten like instantaneously. All the coffee got, you know, got drunk up real fast, okay? And so I go to talk to Julie, okay? I said, hey, Julie, I ate any apples, you know, what should I bring instead? You know, it doesn't seem like people like apples here. And Julie told me something, right? You probably know what she told me, but she told me something that I hadn't thought about, I would have never thought about. And then the next time I showed up, I brought bananas and donuts, right? And the bananas got eaten and the donuts got eaten, right? Now, when I went back to school, my PhD program, I started asking people, professors, the other students, you know, why do you think the Streetwise vendors didn't eat the apples. Okay? And I got all types of answers. Right? And these are like really smart people. These are geniuses. These are people that are, you know, the best in their field.
Educated.
Super.
Okay, right.
There's educated, and then they're like,
okay, super educated.
Right? And I asked, why do you think they need the apples? Okay? And I got back answers like, oh, you know, homeless people don't make good decisions, or homeless people are indulgent, or homeless people are, you know, they do this moral thing, like they just don't know what they're doing, they're bad. Right? But what did Julie tell me when I said no one ate the apples? Why did she tell me that no one ate the apples I brought? You had any idea what she told me?
No, I had no idea.
She told me that a lot of people that have been homeless, right, or without a job for a while, or have lived on the street, haven't had very good dental care because, again, America's not good about taking care of poor people. And if your teeth are bad or your teeth hurt, right, eating an apple's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Right, like you could lose a tooth eating an apple.
Yeah, you could.
Right, and so, like these vendors are making really smart decisions.
Exactly.
Not eating the apple is a smarter decision than eating the apple, right? Because you get a free apple, lose a tooth. Bad deal, right?
Bad deal.
Whereas you eat a banana, right?
You get the enjoyment.
You get the enjoyment
and
you keep your teeth, right? But when I told people this, right, when I told my professors, like, yeah, the reason is not because they're indulgent. It's not because they're stupid, right? No, it's because they like made a good decision to keep their teeth.
Right.
They're like, oh, yeah, never thought about that.
Never
right?
thought
Because,
about that. Right.
You know, my teeth, something has my tooth, something's happening to right now. I have to go to the dentist, right? I don't want to go to the dentist, but I know that, like, that's an option for me. I will go to the dentist and get my tooth fixed.
Right.
But if you don't have that as an option,
you got to be careful.
You got to be careful. So they're making good decisions, and I think that's awesome.
And you know, just by you bringing that up, that's the one thing I like about you, because you was able to come down to our level and go out there and sell the papers, you know, so therefore you have a pretty good idea of what we go through daily. You know, so we really thank you for coming on our show. And
I thank you for letting me hang out with you, Alan, and training me. I appreciate you.
Okay, I got one last question. You have been very helpful and interesting at Streetwise. Do you find anything to be helpful and interesting to you about Streetwise?
Yeah, I have learned to get out of my own head, right, and to, you know, ask you questions. Ask Alan what's going on, because Alan will tell me, because Alan knows.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Broderick, for coming on our show. And is there anything else which you would like to say about your experience at Streetwise? Free.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of things I want to say about my experience. Mostly is that, like, I did not know. I was still one of those people that, like, just would walk past a Streetwise vendor and never consider, right, that you guys, like, have all of this experience and knowledge that we're just not tapping into. I'm gonna get deep for a second. Mind if I get deep for a second?
No, get deep.
There is this this theory in feminist studies called standpoint theory. Okay, standpoint theory says that the people at the lowest point in a social hierarchy understand the world better than people at the top of a social hierarchy, right? Because they have to see the world for what it is. Because if they don't see the world for what it is, then the people at the top will hurt them, the people on the same strata will hurt them, and, like, their life is harder if they can't see the truth for what it is.
They can get snuffed out.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
Right.
Right? And so, but we tend to invert that, right, as people, and we go, oh, the people at the top know what they're doing. Right? We assume that, like, rich people are smarter. And, dressed better and better looking, so they're just rich. They just have money, right? They're big deals. They have money. But my view is that maybe they're actually worse at seeing, like, the truth for what it is. Whereas if I ask Alan, right, like you didn't need me to do a bunch of data analysis and tell you that you need to be consistent to do well at Streetwise. You told me that in the training. You said you need to show up on time, decide when you're going to be there, and be there when you're going to be there.
Yeah.
All right. That's what you told me in training. So you knew this
from experience. Yeah.
From experience,
yeah.
Right? And like, I think everybody can do a better job of not assuming that the people that you think are beneath you, right, know less than you, right? Standpoint theory would suggest that they know more about the way the world actually works, right? And so you asked me, what have I gotten from Streetwise? Like, I've learned more from my time at Streetwise than I have from like 4 years of PhD studies. I'm at the best school in the world for what we do. Like, we're the best. And I've gotten more out of spending time with you and being, you know, there in the morning, watching people come in and like actually talking to people and I understand, you know, forget my experience and what I've learned in a book or how to read an article or run an experiment. Like, you know so much, right? And what I would love for like the Streetwise vendors to do, right? And for, you know, anybody that's, you know, been poor, fighting homelessness, is to realize too in themselves that you know more, right? Like, you know a lot. And just to have just a little bit more confidence around the fact that you have this awesome body of knowledge, right? That you are, you know, imbued with skills and like, that other people don't have, right? So that's it. That's what I got.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then another thing you said before we go off there, or before we invite Susan Haney, our editor, on, is that you said, well, people, you know, I've been offered 3 jobs since I've been working Streetwise.
Of course you have.
Because people do, like you say, see you at the work, at your location every day at the same time, and they say this person is consistent.
Right.
You know, so we're like for them because we know they'll show up. If they can show up here, because most of the people I see are on their way to work. So I see them before they get to work.
Right.
So therefore, I'm at work before they even get to work.
Right.
So they, if they see me every day at that same time, they say this guy's consistent and he shows up for his job, because we do have these buttons that say this is my job. And I did want to show the little uniforms we have, which gives us visibility. This is the button that says this is my job. I'll put it up here on the overhead. It says this is my job, and this is my job to yeah, you see it, and this is part of the uniform that we wear. Let me just call it the uniform. And they bring attention to us, whereas a person can see us from a mile away and say, there go a Streetwise vendor. I've been looking for a Streetwise vendor. There go one. And so we're thankful for the uniforms. We have aprons, we have buttons, we have identification badges. And when people see us, they be like, I know I can get a Streetwise from them, because that's one of the guys. I can tell from the uniform he wearing, from the vest, from the apron, from the button, from the ID. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so we do want to save time for Susan Haney. I think she has some things to say about the magazine that's out. Okay, and I do want everyone to remember that new vendors orientation is Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. Be there on time and we'll set you up with 15 free papers. We'll give you an ID, we'll give you a location, and we'll train you on how to sell Streetwise. One of the most important things is that we do in orientation is train you with the code of conduct. The code of conduct is how to carry yourself in an appropriate and proper manner when you're in public. How to be polite, kind, and respectful to people, even if they are not kind and respectful to you. You know, so it's a lot of things that you can learn just from selling Streetwise, you know, that can land you a job, because Streetwise is a stepping stone. It's not maybe not what you really want at the time, but it's a stepping stone to get you started and to get your wheels rolling toward a decent job. We do have a job program that you can step up to the job program, and your customers, you can put your resume into the papers and let your customers know to pass out your resume to someone that may be interested in hiring you. So Streetwise is a stepping stone, and I'd like to thank Broderick once again for coming on CAN TV to express what he do and how he's helping Streetwise in so many ways.
How Streetwise is helping me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. And remember, new vendors orientation Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock, and we also have the all vendors meeting next Wednesday, September 19th. All vendors alert. Come to the all vendors meeting, 1 o'clock.
I'll be there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you so much, brother, for coming on. Yes, now that's our show, and it's a wrap. New vendors orientation, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock. Be there. Oh, let's see. More information, a hand up and not a handout. The what in?